wonderful world of teaching. Today I'm sharing how to make the most of your Credential program using teacher observation as a way to network. I'm also going to share a few things as you're taking teacher observations that might be helpful for new teachers or veteran teachers. If you are able to observe other teachers, you can use some of these tips as well. The reason why I wanted to create this video was because I've realized how important teacher observations have been. Now that I work in administration and I'm giving teacher observations, I've been able to use what was once an assignment, which I'll share a little bit about, into a way to really help grow other teachers and then also myself as an educator. When I first started my Credential program, it was the first class that I had, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was probably called Teaching 101 or Teaching Pedagogy, something like that. And so when I got in that class, one of the assignments was to have 100 hours of teacher observations. Now, I'm a firstborn, I'm a teacher, you're probably very similar. I want 100% on everything. I want to get an A in the class and pass. I want to do a good job. And so 100 hours was really intimidating for me. I didn't know where I was going to fit that time into being a full-time student and working. And two, I'd never been in a classroom. I didn't have family members that were teachers where I was like a part of their classroom. So outside of being a student, I'd never been in a classroom as an adult and observed. So I was really intimidated about that. I wanted to make sure I wasn't in teacher's space and like just kind of ruining their vibe, like just being in there. And so I had to kind of deal with that. But the nice thing was my Credential program did start us off with, these are some of the teachers that have been approved that said it's okay to come into your classroom. So I used that list to kind of go through which ones I could go to. You had to call ahead and let them know, hey, is it okay if I observe during this time? Or make sure you're communicating with the office staff and letting them know that you're coming. So based on availability, that's kind of how I went through it. But one of the first teachers I picked was a kindergarten teacher, and I went into that class and it was amazing. I mean, it was just what I thought teaching would be like. The classroom was very friendly and pictures of student artwork were on the wall. There was tables for centers, lots of books for students to look at. And I remember the teacher, when it was time to clean up or time to rotate center, she'd open the music box and the students would all kind of pause and listen. And she just had a great rapport with her class. And so while I'm taking my observations notes, I'm writing all of these down, all these great tips and tricks. And, I learned that was kind of a great thing to observe in teachers, things that I really liked, the way that they were interacting with students, the way they would explain things. I also had to note down, I think, like seating charts and how many students were in the class as like part of the actual assignment. But I learned to take like really detailed notes because as I continued doing a lot of these observations, I realized that they're exposing me to different teaching styles, different teachers, how to work with the students, all sorts of students, right? I'm in classrooms all day long. Little students in kindergarten all the way through 6th grade because I have an elementary Credential. So that would be one thing. If you're taking teacher observations notes, whether for yourself, I'll start with that. If you're taking them for yourself, make note of the classroom layout. I think that's so important, how teachers organize their workspace. Take note of how the teacher facilitates learning. So is it a lecture style? Is the teacher having students participate? Are they doing game-based activities? Are there centers? How does the teacher demonstrate expectations? I think that's a huge one. How do they correct behavior? So all of these things are really important when you're taking observation notes. If you're providing them for someone, I think it's the same. You want to take note of how they're interacting with students, what are students doing when they're talking, what's going really well in the class. I think teachers, if you're providing feedback for teachers, that's what I currently do in my job as an administrator. They want to know what they're doing well. They want to see and be able to have somebody looking at what the students are doing, how they're enjoying the activities, what's going really well. You know, teacher observations, it's so intimidating because it's negative feedback, but they want to hear what's going well. And so oftentimes when I would leave a classroom in my credential program after observing a teacher's, I would say, thank you so much, I really loved this. And I would leave kind of a compliment, because how often is that happening for teachers these days? You know, someone's walking in their classroom, and if you're an educator or a teacher, you know when someone comes in, you want to know how well you're doing, how things are going. And you don't want to just hear like the negatives. So that was something important, is to just leave that. I would encourage you to do that as well, because that that experience being observing that teacher in kindergarten led me to be a student teacher for that teacher. So I had developed a relationship. I had gone back a few more times and observed the teacher, and I built a relationship with her, and so she became my mentor teacher when I went through that part of my credential. Then down the line, I didn't get my first teaching job right out of college, so I did have to substitute for a little bit. But it was that school and the principal that ended up hiring me for my very first teaching job. So all the way back, like the little things that I did, I didn't know that I was doing anything and didn't make the most of my teacher observation, didn't realize like, oh, I should be networking. Oh, I should be using this as an opportunity to kind of say, hey, I'm interested in being a teacher too. But by doing that and leaving little notes, making relationships with the staff and the principal, thanking the office staff when I left, it made a difference. What led me to my first teaching job. I haven't shared this in any videos yet, but it was 2.5 years before I actually got a teaching job, so I had to substitute for a while. So all that to say, make the most of those teacher observations. So hopefully your credential program does offer that, but if not, I would really encourage you to reach out, of course, call the school and see if they're willing to let you observe, because it really formed what I was going to be doing in the classroom. I had not had any experience, as I shared before, so all of this was actual, like real life strategies that I could be using. It wasn't just something I was reading from a book or my professor was telling me about. So with that, if you are in a teaching credential program, share with me some of the great observations that you've seen and what grade level you're hoping to teach. I'd love to cheer you on and encourage you. And if you are a teacher out there and you're being observed, just thank you. Thank you for sharing your teaching with others. I think it's so important for us to be able to do that, and we don't always get to hear that we're doing a great job. So you are doing a great job. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with somebody else that might enjoy this video. With that, I'll see you at the next one.